Hi everyone, Professor Tan here. Just want to teach you guys how to look up academic papers using Google Scholar and also the Loyola Library website. So notice that for each paper, you will have to find a related paper regardless of which prompt you choose. So that's going to be question 5 for either prompt. This will be true not only for paper 1, but also paper 2 and paper 3 for sports economics. So let me go ahead and teach you how to find papers online using, again, Google Scholar or Loyola Library. This semester, one of the academic papers that I will be discussing in class is this one by Adam Cox on demand, uncertainty of results, and public interest using data from the English Premier League. So if I scroll all the way to his reference list, which starts on page 27, actually it starts on page 27 of the paper. Let's go to this page here, 28. There's a few papers by two very prominent sports economists, Dennis Coates and Brad Humphreys. So let's go ahead and take a look at one of these papers. I will choose this particular paper here in the Journal of Sports Economics. So what I could do is go to the Loyola Library website. The URL is lndl.org. And in the search box, what I'm going to do is actually look for journals. Now again, if I move this off to the side, the journal that we're going to be looking for is the Journal of Sports Economics. And so that's what we're going to search for. Journal of Sports Economics. Pushing enter, I actually have to log in, and you'll probably have to log in as well. Okay, now that we are logged in, you can see that the Journal of Sports Economics is listed, and there are 4 links that we could use to access this academic journal. One thing that we're going to want to note is the date of this publication. So in the paper it says that this paper by Coates and Humphreys was published in 2012. So notice that the first 2 links won't work for us because 2012 is outside of the date range. However, the other 2 options are good for us because 2012 is within the date range. So we could choose either or. I'll just click on the 2017 one, but the other one should work too. So once we get to the website for the Journal of Sports Economics, what we're going to want to do is use the reference in the paper to locate this paper by Coates and Humphreys. So if I go to 2012, I will see that there are 6 issues in the Journal of Sports Economics during that year. So notice after the name of the journal, there's this number 13. So this number 13 here is associated with the volume number. Now, Cox did not give us the issue number, but what he did provide was the page number for the Coates and Humphreys papers, 364 to 377. So we can see that that should be within issue 4. And so I'm going to click on that link. Again, knowing that the paper is on page 364, we can find the actual link to the Coates and Humphreys paper. Now what I want to do is download the PDF, so I'll click the PDF button. And now you can see that I have access to that paper and can download it to my computer. Okay, so what now? Well, the Loyola Library is one of 2 sources that we could use to find academic research. So the other option that we have is Google Scholar, which I have open in this tab. So the URL for Google Scholar is scholar.google.com. So let's suppose I want to find a paper that is citing the Cox paper. So what I can do is to search for the Cox paper. So going back to the title page, I know that the type is spectator demand, uncertainty of results, and public interest, evidence from the English Premier League. Once I push enter, I could see this is the paper that we will be studying in class, written by Adam Cox in the Journal of Sports Economics and published in 2018. Adam Cox, Journal of Sports Economics, published in 2018. So notice under the abstract, there's a link that says cited by 59. So 59 papers reference the Cox paper in their own paper. So let's click on that, and we'll see a list of these papers. One easy way of downloading these papers is to click on the link that says PDF on it. So let's, for example, take a look at the determinants of TV demand for soccer, empirical evidence on Italian Serie A for the period 2008-2015. If I click on the link with the PDF, then I can download this to my computer. Let's go back and notice that there are some references that don't have that PDF link. That doesn't mean that you cannot access that paper, it just means that we might have to go through the Loyola Library to do so. So for one example, let's take a look at this paper by Schreier, Schmidt, and Torgler, entitled Against All Odds, Exploring the Role of Game Outcome Uncertainty in Season Ticket Holder Stadium Attendance Demand, which was published in 2016 in the Journal of Economic Psychology. So when we click on this, we can get to that page, but when we click on the PDF, it asks us to pay nearly $36 to purchase this PDF. Definitely don't want to do that. So what we want to do instead is to go back to the Loyola Library website, and instead of searching for the Journal of Sports Economics like we did before, let's search for the journal that we just found, which was the Journal of Economic Psychology. Journal of Economic Psychology. I'm going to move this tab off to the right, and we can see that the paper was published in 2016, and so we're going to want the Science Direct Freedom Collection link, because 2016 is well after 94. Again, we're going to want to locate the actual paper, so notice that this paper was published in volume 56. So let's go to View All Issues and find in 2016, volume 56. If we scroll down, we know that the paper starts at page 192. And if we continue to scroll down, we can see this paper by Schreier, Schmidt, and Torgler, which matches the paper that we were looking for. So I can then click the download PDF, and now I've got the PDF of that paper. Loyola Library gives us access to a lot of journals, but not every single journal. So if we go back to the Google Scholar listing, we can find that there is a paper by Schreier, Schmidt, and Torgler, the same three authors from the Journal of Economic Psychology paper, but this particular paper was published in the German Economic Review. Again, if I click on this, it will give me the reference, but it will ask me to log in, and so what we want to do is see if we have that option through the Loyola Library, since we can't download it directly from the publisher's website. So I'm going to move this to the right and look for the German Economic Review Journal. Unfortunately, in this case, Loyola does not have access to the German Economic Review journal because no results were found. And so if this was the paper you were looking for, unfortunately we're at a dead end. But as I've shown earlier in this video, there are other ways that we can access papers that you might be interested in writing your paper on. So that's all I've got for right now. If you have any questions, you can feel free to shoot me an email, and I will do my best to help you find any papers that you are having trouble looking for.